Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to sign the state budget for the state. We are so proud of this balanced budget. Record reserves. Colorado has never been in as good fiscal shape as we are now, with record rainy day fund and reserves for whatever comes our way. And I'm very glad we have that, because there is just an enormous amount of unknowns and instability in the world right now. It's not something Colorado specific. It's everything from invasion of Ukraine to disruptions in global capital. There's a lot of question marks. So we want Colorado to be ready. Record reserves that are here. The reserves are also important because they allow us to continue on doubling down on investing in our public schools. So this budget has a record increase in funding for our public schools, over 9%. But in addition to that, it can sustain it for the next few years, no matter what happens in the economy. And that's also very important, because the expenses of schools, teacher salaries, programs, it's hard to gear them up and then cut them. We want to have a solid base for smaller class size, better teacher pay. We also have full-day kindergarten included in this budget, as it was in our last two. And we earlier today signed the universal preschool bill. The funding for preschool starts in this bill. So it has a lot of enormous wins. Now, all of this is possible because people might ask, how can you have record reserves, record investment in public schools, send $400 back to people? That's not in this budget, but that was separately announced today, and obviously there's room for it. Invest $600 million of the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund to prevent the need for costly payroll tax increases, all of those wonderful things. It's because our economy is strong. So we're able to do this because Colorado has one of the strongest economic recoveries in the nation. We've recovered more than 100% of the jobs we lost in the pandemic, 3.7% unemployment, and as a result, there are a lot of funds coming in. We also, of course, deeply appreciate the American Rescue Act funds. Now, those are separate. We've talked about those specific funds that are directly from American Rescue Act, behavioral health, housing, transformational one-time investments that we're able to do because of that. Earlier today, we announced the new legislation that will give Coloradans a $400 tax refund for individuals, $800 for joint filers as soon as possible, which will be by the end of summer. This budget makes room for major other initiatives around saving people money, reducing vehicle fee registrations, relief on driver's license fees, making it free to start a business. It also includes historic investments in air quality, in public safety, in workforce support, including child care centers. Frankly, this budget, thanks to the work of the JBC, is just a win for Colorado. And I'm so proud of the responsible approach that we're taking with the record-setting 15% reserve, the increasing funding for education, really the most important work that the state does. We've also really listened to concerns of Coloradans who are taking bold action to support law enforcement. From recruitment and retention trainings of law enforcement officers to investment in the co-response model, saving officers tax time and money, to supporting community organizations working in schools and communities to prevent crime from happening in the first place, to help make sure that young people are connected to all the opportunities that the state offers and have the ability to succeed. These are the issues that matter most to Coloradans: saving people money, public safety, investments in clean air, and our future. And this budget is a result of that strong partnership between the legislative and executive branch and the long work and hearings that the Joint Budget Committee put into this. I am happy to turn it over to the chair of the Joint Budget Committee, Julie McCluskey, whose leadership throughout this process drove this really remarkable bill. It's truly a remarkable long bill to the finish line. Representative McCluskey.
I'm a little emotional. Governor, thank you. I want to start with gratitude because this is a powerful moment. The members of the Joint Budget Committee come together for days and hours talking with one another, talking with departments, talking with the people of this state to make informed decisions. And I could not be more grateful than to serve with the members that are up here today and thank them for their investment of time, expertise, and heart. I'm also very grateful to those who aren't in this room right now, but they're the magic behind the curtain, and that's the amazing Joint Budget Committee staff, led by Director Carolyn Campman and a team of analysts that really prove to be those experts we can speak to, ask questions of, and learn from. I'm also very, very grateful to Director Larson. Her team at OSPB proved to be as valuable as our own. We came together in a collaborative spirit to address the issues facing this state. And what a difference it makes when there is collaboration between branches of government, conversations. I am so excited to say today that we have brought forth a budget that fuels the Colorado comeback, but pushes us forward. 2 years ago, we made devastating reductions to the state's budget. More than $3 billion in cuts to the things we value and cherish most: public education, programs and human services, benefits that we were providing through healthcare policy and financing. Last year, we restored many of those cuts. We started to get back on our feet. But this year, we focused on our priorities. The investment in our public schools, our colleges, our universities ensures that our children have a powerful path forward to jobs that will pay a living wage, to be a part of Colorado's economy, to provide for their family, to make sure that they experience the success and their own version of the Colorado dream. I am thrilled to say that we focused on the safety net, making sure that we restored all of those critically vital programs and services that help every working family stay on their feet and return to the life they led before the pandemic devastated us. As the governor mentioned, what a tremendous investment in reserves. We have prepared ourselves for any rocky paths ahead. And I have so much confidence in the members of the General Assembly who voted in support of this bill, who came together to say these are our priorities too. And I am looking forward to the years ahead in Colorado when we can look back and say today was the day we fueled that vision, that hope, that dream for all that Colorado can be. Thank you again, Governor Polis. Thanks to my colleagues. And now to the amazing Vice Chair. It's not his fault he has to serve in the Senate and not the House, but Senator Hansen.
All right, we'll leave the chamber rivalries aside, but get to the important things here today. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this team. We spent hundreds and hundreds of hours poring over more than 1,000 line items, carefully evaluating the governor's proposals to bring us to this point with the long bill. And I want to add on to the thanks that our chair so ably spread to the JBC staff, to our collaboration with the governor's office, with OSPB. And let's not forget our just departed member of the JBC, the Majority Leader Moreno, my friend, my colleague, my mentor on the Joint Budget Committee as I learned these ropes over the last several years. And he is with us today and has lots of fingerprints on this important piece of work. And so I want to especially thank him for his years of service on the Joint Budget Committee. A couple of highlights that I wanted to lift up. We've already heard a little bit about the incredible investments in education. This is from preschool all the way to grad school in this budget. P all the way to G. And it's a pretty incredible thing that we were able to do here. Not only make huge investments in early childhood, in full day K, and record levels on the K-12 side, but also for the first time in any record I can find, we're actually reducing the real price of tuition in the state of Colorado. Think about that for a second. When was the last time college-age parents knew that next year was going to be cheaper because of the investments the state made. That's what we were able to deliver. So all the way from P to G with this budget. And that's a great place for us to be, to fuel that comeback that we've heard about and to put Colorado in a great position. So I'm grateful to this team and the long hours, the details that we were sweating to make sure that we got this just right. And the product today is the long bill, and it puts Colorado in a great position. I'm now going to turn it over to my colleague on the Joint Budget Committee, Representative Leslie Herrod.
Well, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I'm proud to be here as one of the newest members on the Joint Budget Committee. When I got on the Joint Budget Committee, I got on with one goal, which was to figure out where the money was going. And that quite quickly expanded to how we were really prioritizing equity in our state and what we were doing to ensure that the people of Colorado really come out of this pandemic strong. I gotta say, as we dug into the numbers, as we dug into the budget, I could not have been more proud of the state employees, the Joint Budget Committee staff, and OSPB for how they have worked this budget over the years. But this year was tough. We had billions of extra dollars that came into the state that we had to figure out how we were going to prioritize. We had really tough conversations about what we needed to do to ensure that Coloradans got back on their feet, and so that we didn't just go back to where we were before the pandemic, but that we actually realized and figured out how we can make investments to make Colorado stronger after the pandemic. And that's what we did right here in this budget. Our priorities around education, quite frankly, are unparalleled, I would say, across this country. And it's because of the leadership of Governor Polis. We have changed the way that we define equity and equitable funding in Colorado through this budget. We have said that young people and all of our folks who go through higher education deserve a fair shot at a good quality education. And if you need additional resources to do that, we will help you. Colorado will help. That's what we did in this budget. We also prioritized our state employees. Man, I gotta tell you, we could not have gotten through this pandemic without them. And they deserve the attention that they have in this budget. They negotiated with the governor's office the first ever partnership. And it's really strong, not just the Juneteenth part, which I love, but the additional funding, additional salaries for our employees that work so very hard, right? Additional mental health resources for them as well. We've got to make sure that our state is strong, but that ensures that those who are leading the state, who are doing the work, also are recognized and supported. That's what this budget does. So I gotta say, when we look at this budget, it is well-rounded, it's balanced, but it also gives back to the people of Colorado. And I'm so proud to be a part of this amazing Joint Budget Committee to make it happen. Thank you, Governor, for your leadership. Thank you for signing this bill today. Thank you, Lauren, also for your leadership. And of course, Chair McCluskey and Vice Chair Hansen. I think we've got a great package here, and I can't wait to see it become law. Thank you. Oh, and now I'll pass it on to, my partner in crime, Senator Rankin.
That was an interesting comment because Representative Herrod and I have, in fact, become partners in crime. We've interestingly found common interest, and that's, for me, the theme of being, for 8 years, in the minority and now the minority ranking member on the committee. Yeah, I know you expect controversy, dialogue, differences between the parties, and indeed, we carry that out. But I'll tell you, on the issues that matter to my caucus and on the matters that matter to me personally, like wildfire, which unfortunately is no longer a Western Colorado problem, but all of our problems, on small schools, rural schools, all issues rural. Every time I bring up one of those minority issues, it got a full hearing with a wonderful 13-member bipartisan staff, totally aired, so I can go back to my minority caucus and say, yes, we talked about that. Here's what we did. Here's I wouldn't even call it a compromise, a good solution. So my spiel, you know, we've talked about the detail, all the wonderful things. This is the third year of historic budgets in different ways. I mean, I might try to write a book if I ever get out of here, you know, about these 3 years. It's really incredible what's gone on. But, you know, this budget is, hopefully we can get back to normal, whatever that is, in the following years. It's been a wonderful experience. I just can't thank my colleagues enough for making this a truly bipartisan effort. And, you know, the level of detail and competency from our staff in this budget is truly incredible. So thank you for letting me be a part of it, all of you.
Thank you, Senator.
It's my great pleasure to welcome our newest and returning member, Senator Zinzinger.
So I actually didn't think I was going to be speaking today, so I didn't prepare anything. And if I was going to speak off the cuff, I would speak about the things that I know about, which is education. But you've already heard quite a bit about the historic investment that we've made toward education. I'll just say that we are within striking distance of absolutely eliminating the budget stabilization factor. In fact, it's at the lowest point that it has been since its inception, number one. So that is very exciting. And I truly feel like we've crafted a responsible budget so that we can truly eliminate it next year without having to turn around and increase it the following year. Number two, we also, and this is something that nobody has spoken about yet, put $80 million into special education funding. And this is critical because we have never actually fully funded our special education system here in Colorado. And so I'm really excited with that particular aspect of the budget. And just from beginning to end, as has already been said by my colleagues, we increased funding for early childhood education 1,846%, which is incredible, and that's because we're actually making it a priority here in Colorado. All the way up to higher education. Higher education is really struggling here in Colorado. We need to do whatever we can to put our resources and to invest in our institutions of post-secondary learning because they really truly are our future. So I just want to say thank you for being here today and for celebrating this budget with us. I want to thank all of my colleagues, and in particular I want to thank our staff. As the newest old member coming in the middle of the session, I had to be able to just hit the ground running, and that couldn't have been possible if we didn't have such competent staff that were always willing to sit down and talk me through any issue, answer any question, and so I'm just really grateful to be part of the team. Thank you.
Well, once upon a time, the fiscal leaders in this room, in our departments, and our talented staff at OSPB set about crafting a reduction budget for this year because it was February 2021 and we thought we were going to have to be making deep cuts. But then the economy roared back and we started counting the coffers as it came in and realized there was an opportunity to seize. And our governor said, let's seize it. Let's propose some really important investments for the state, but not spend it all. Let's save half and invest half. And that's where this responsible budget has ended up under the fine leadership of Chair McCluskey and Vice Chair Hansen. This is a truly balanced, bipartisan budget, something our whole fiscal community and our whole state can be incredibly proud of, and I know I am. Thank you.
Hi everybody, Dave Young, Colorado State Treasurer, and I'm up here to just tell you from someone who actually did sit on the Joint Budget Committee how marvelous the work has been done, and I appreciate the fact of Senator Rankin talking about 3 extraordinary years. But I know how difficult the work has been because I've been there, and so you should understand how marvelous this work has become. And as your state treasurer, now the governor signs the bill and hands it to the Department of the Treasury, and we make sure that the money stays moving. It's the fuel that does all the great work in the state, and all the great departments that are represented here are counting on that to move through so that we can actually get the great work done that has been set forth in this budget. So thank you for signing this bill, Governor. Thank you for all the work that you've done, Chair McCluskey and Senator Vice Chair Hansen. my mentee or mentor, I'm not sure, but great work, and let's get on with signing this bill, shall we?
Gather around, everybody. Let's do this. Definitely better than that horrible one we had. Right? Congratulations, everybody. Can I get one more pen? Thank you. Two more pens. Really great work, really exciting year, and it's really exciting to see that we got such a great product out of it. And there you go. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Good work.
Congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you very much.
What is this one? Okay, next bill is 1333.
All right.
Okay. This is orbital.
Yeah, you take the last one,
This is the minimum wage for nursing home.
and 1334 is the increase.
Okay, I want to thank Representative Herrod, Representative McCluskey, Senator Zinzinger, and Senator Rankin for their work on this. This bill increases the minimum wage for nursing facility employees to at least $15 an hour. They take care of our most vulnerable Coloradans, and we want to make sure that they're able to take care of themselves. I want to thank the General Assembly for passing this bill. The work of our nursing home workforce is absolutely critical, especially for our most vulnerable. And I want to turn it over to Representative Herrod to talk about the success of this bill.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. So we have two bills dealing with nursing homes, and what I want to say, I guess I'll start by saying that our nursing homes have been particularly hard hit by this pandemic. My mom is currently in one of these facilities right now. And I got to tell you, she has good days and bad days. I try to spend every Sunday with her, and I see the dedication of the employees every single day. Regardless of what mood she's in, good or bad, they take care of her, and I trust them to do that. They do such an amazing job. But as we've been kind of digging through this budget and the needs for the state, we realize that especially our nursing home workers are not compensated in a way that provides the dignity that they deserve for the work that they are doing. And so this bill ensures a living wage for these employees. And I think it's so very important. To say that they should be making the same or less than someone who works, say, in fast food, which, no shade, I don't think adequately really grasp the hard work that they are doing. But most importantly, it means that people are leaving from these jobs to take other jobs in our communities when we need them at these nursing homes desperately. So this bill provides that compensation that they need, and I think it's our obligation as a state to ensure that that happens. And so I'm really proud that the Joint Budget Committee has prioritized this. I don't think I thought as much about nursing homes in particular until my mom was in one of these facilities, but I saw how many moms, how many parents are there, especially after COVID. And I'm just so glad that we can give one more thing to honor those hardworking employees, the respect and the pay that they deserve. So thank you.
Sure.
Chair? Madam Chair?
I'm going to throw out that Representative Herrod really caught the spirit of what the two bills mean, 1333 as well as 1247. It is about investing in the people that have given so much during this difficult time. But I want to highlight that we've included in these bills an effort to better understand what we can do as a state to improve the services, the programs, and how we are facilitating senior care. I think there is a moment now for Colorado after the pandemic. We're catching our breath. Let's make better investments in the infrastructure of that care. We're doing that in a number of ways in our healthcare sector. Nursing facilities deserve that same attention, maybe even redesign, a chance to think differently about how we're taking care of those that are so dear and important to us. Thank you, Governor Polis, for signing these bills.
Thank you. We're going to sign them both 1247 too, so if anybody else wants to speak to either one or both, go ahead.
So I just want to very quickly add my gratitude and my thanks for the governor signing this bill today. My sister is a nursing home administrator, and a lot of times the staff and the people who run nursing homes are demonized. You know, they're told, oh, they're just, you know, making a profit at the expense of X, Y, and Z, and that is absolutely not the case. These facilities take care of the most vulnerable people in our community, and they care about them, truly care about them. And during the pandemic in particular, these last 2 years has been an extraordinary experience. The level of effort that they had to put into taking care of their patients, and truly not just the patients but their families as well. It was extraordinary, and I think that this is really truly the least that we can do in order to ensure that we have a good, well-paid workforce, so that everybody who is in a nursing home, works in a nursing home, and is affiliated with nursing homes is taken care of. So thank you.
Else? Okay, let's make it official. Here we go. We have a lot of pens. It's good to be on the JBC if you like pens. Okay, that's from that. This one. This is the minimum wage one. And they're both official. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. Yeah, there's 2 different bills. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We want to thank Representative Herrod for this work as well. Capital-related transfers of money. Representative McCluskey, Senator Hansen, Senator Zinzinger. Capital Development Joint Technology Bill. I think I saw Tony Neal Graves here earlier. Did I see him? There he is, our head of OIT in the back. Thank you for your great work. This bill really helps the state improve our state facilities, achieve our clean energy goals, modernize IT, create better efficiency for the government, and we're very excited about that. And who would like to speak to 1340? Senator Hansen.
All right. Thank you, Governor. And I realize this capital spending doesn't often make headlines, but this is also an historic moment when it comes to capital. We have a big tech debt. We are behind when it comes to state IT resources. We are behind when it comes to taking care of our state buildings and maintenance and capital improvements around the state. We have some deferred maintenance in both of those categories that we are really starting to address with 1340. This is an historic level of investment in our capital and IT assets, the highest we've ever had. And my first committee hearing ever as a state legislator in 2017 was when I joined Capital Development Committee. It was even before I was sworn in, started looking at some of these problems. And I'm just so proud to be part of working with our current CDC and of course the JBC and the governor's office to get to this new level. And I understand it's not going to be the front page of the paper tomorrow, but I want the citizens of Colorado to know that we are working so hard to take care of our capital assets, the buildings, and the other facilities the state runs, and making sure that we have great IT resources for the citizens to get great customer service from their state government. And that's what 1340 is all about. Thank you, Governor.
Official, congratulations. Capital bill, all right. We should give that one to Tony Neal Graves. How about that? Okay, what's next? That's it for
That's it.
Wow.
Where's the champagne?
Great job, everybody.
Thanks, Governor.
Historic budget. You should be very